Hi, welcome to my video on solving trig equations, linear number 2. Solve for theta, 0 less than or equal to theta less than 2 pi. So notice in this video, we will, instead of in degrees, we'll have it in terms of a radian, 2 pi. Let's do some examples, and again, you can follow what I'm going to do, or you can pause your video and work them out. Here we go. Number 1, 8 sine theta plus 3 root 2, 4 sine theta plus root 2. We have to solve for sine or cos, so we'll move the sine theta on the left side. And when we do, the 4 sine theta becomes a negative, and root 2 minus 3 root 2, the constants go on the right, and when you remove them, we make them the opposite, make it a minus. 8 sine minus 4 sine is 4 sine theta. And 1 root 2 minus 3 root 2, like terms, negative 2 root 2. And we divide both sides by 4. 4's cancel. So sine theta is equal to 2 and the 2 goes once, 2 and the 4 goes 2, so it's a negative root 2 over 2. And we want to find out, add sugar to coffee. Sine is negative, sine is positive in 1 and 2, so it's negative in 3 and 4. So we draw the diagram in quadrant 3, terminal arm to the x-axis, and we draw a diagram in circle and put it in quadrant 4, terminal arm going to the x-axis. Sine is the y, so the y is a negative root 2 over 2 in both triangles. The y is negative root 2 over 2. And I don't have to do much more because root 2 over 2 will give us a 45 reference angle in each of the quadrants. So the reference angle is 45 degrees. So I'll work my answers out in terms of a degree, and then I'll convert it to radians. So in the third quadrant, which is this rotation here, theta is 180 plus the reference angle, which is 180 plus 45. So that's 225 degrees for the third quadrant. And theta in the fourth quadrant is all the way around right to here. So theta in the fourth quadrant is 360 minus the reference angle. We practice this again and again and again. So we take off the 45 degrees, so that gives us a 315 degrees. And we want the answer in terms of pi. So we'll take 225 degrees and multiply it by pi over 180. Now, when I do that, I know that 45 is pi over 4. So I know this is going to be a pi over 4 because the reference angle is 45. 45 is 180 divided by 4. This will be a pi over 4 when I reduce. So 5 into 180 is 36. 5 into 225 is 45. And 9 into 36 goes 4 times. 9 to 45 goes 5. So this is a 5 pi over 4, which makes sense because pi over 4 is 45 degrees times 5 is 225. The reference angle is 45, so this has to be a pi over 4. And 315 degrees multiplied by pi over 180. And again, I know that I'm going to have a pi over 4. So we reduce it down. And notice, again, just if you think about it, there's pi over 4. There's 2 of them there, 2 of them here. So that's 4, 6. This should be a 7 pi over 4. But let's do it by reducing. 5 into 180 goes 36. 5 into 315 goes 5 is 5 sixes are 30, so that's 63, and 9 into that goes 4 times 9 is 63, goes 7 nines are 63, so 7 pi over 4 when you reduce it right down. So the answers is 5 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. Let's do number 2. Number 2, the equations are designed a little bit different, but notice in number 2 we have fractions, and the LCD for this equation is a 3, a 3, and a 6, so the LCD is 6. So I'll multiply each term by 6, and that means my denominators should be canceling out. So here we're going to multiply by 6. 6 times cos theta is 6 cos theta. 3 into 6 goes 2, so that's negative 2. 3 into 6 goes 2, so that's 2 times 2 is 4 cos theta. And 6 cancels 6 once, so there's a negative 1. So the cos thetas move to the left, and the constants move to the right, changing signs. 2 cos theta equals 1. Divided by 2, cos theta equals 1/2. And what quadrants are we in? Cos, add sugar to coffee. Cos is positive in 1 and 4. So we'll draw the diagrams in quadrant 1, which is right here with the terminal arm perpendicular to the x-axis. And we'll draw it also in quadrant 4. That's the terminal arm perpendicular to the x-axis. And cos is associated with the x, so the x is 1/2. The x is 1/2. That means that this side is root 3 over 2. That's a 1. This side is negative root 3 over 2 because the y is negative going down with a 1. Opposite root 3 over 2 is a 60 degree, and opposite root 3 over 2 is 60 degrees. So the reference angle is 60 degrees. So in this first quadrant, theta is equal to the reference angle, which is 60 degrees. And in the fourth quadrant, theta is 360 minus the reference angle. So it's 360 minus 60, so that's 300 degrees. So we have first quadrant, theta is 60, and the fourth quadrant, which is all the way around, is all the way over to here. Don't stop there because that's 270. So 300 is right to there. And convert 60 degrees times pi over 180. 60 once, 63, so that's a pi over 3. So 60 degrees is pi over 380 divided by 3 is 60. And 300 degrees, we multiply by pi over 180 to convert degrees to radians. And again, this is going to be a pi over 3 because that's the reference angle. So how many 60s are in 300? 5. So that's a 5 pi over 3. Another way to do it, if you didn't want to put pi over 3, which was a 60, and then divide 60 into 300, get 5. We cancel the zeros, dividing by 10. 6 into 18 goes 3, 6 into 30 goes 5. That's another way to convert. So the two answers are pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. And let's do some more. But these are practice. These are the ones that you can pause your video and work these out yourself and then press playback to see if you're okay. We're solving for theta in terms of a radian. So we'll simplify this equation, but we have brackets. So the subtraction is here. So if I put a 1 here and a 1 here, I have 1 times 7 sine theta, 1 times negative 5. If you put a 1 here, that's a negative 1 times these two. So it's a negative 3 sine theta. Negative 1 times negative 3 is plus 3. And 2 times sine theta minus 1 is 2 sine theta minus 2. Simplify this side first, so that's 4 sine theta minus 2 equals 2 sine theta minus 2. Notice the minus 2's are on each side, so we can cancel them. So 4 sine theta minus 2 sine theta equals 0. So 2 sine theta equals 0. Divide by 2. So sine theta equals 0. And if we got sine theta equals 0, that means we're talking about the quadrantal angles. So sine is the y. So where is y? 0. So that's right here. 1, 0. This is negative 1, 0. So sine is 0 at 0 degrees and 180 degrees. But we have to have the answers in terms of a radian. So 0 as a radian is 0 and 180 is pi. So the two answers are 0 and pi as radians. And I just want to point out that this circle got a radius of 1. And this point here, x is 0, y is 1. And this point down here, x is 0, y is negative 1. So sine is the y, and we go with 0 and 180. And we have another one to do. This one's designed to be a little bit different. And we got sine squared, cos, and sine. So one way to handle this, you notice that we got cos squared, sine squared. So root 3, I'm going to factor the root 3 out. Root 3 is common to the first two. So if I take root 3 out, because it's GCF, that means that cos squared plus sine squared, we learned that in the trig identities when we did the unit on trig section. Trig identity, cos squared plus sine squared is equal to 1. And if you recognize that, then this is root 3, because we multiply before we add. So we got 2 cos theta equals negative root 3. Move the root 3 over. Divide by 2. Cos theta equals negative root 3. And it's not 0, 1, or negative 1, so we don't need this circle. So we got to find out where cos is negative. So add sugar to coffee. Again, I use the ASTC. You could use CAST, C-A-S-T, but the CAST rule starts in quadrant 4, C-A-S-T. I prefer to use add sugar to coffee because we start in quadrant 1. Cos is negative, cos is positive in 1 and 4, so it's negative in 2 and 3. So we draw the diagrams in quadrants 2 and in quadrants 3. So here's the two circles. So quadrant 2, terminal arm perpendicular to the x-axis. Quadrant 3, terminal arm perpendicular to the x-axis. And cos is the x. So x is negative root 3 over 2, and x is negative root 3 over root 3 over 2. And if x is that means the y is going to be 1/2, hypotenuse 1, and the y is going to be a negative 1/2 because we're going down. This is 1. Notice in this quadrant x is negative, y is positive. Notice in this quadrant x is negative and y is negative. But the reference angle, the angle opposite 1/2 in the special right triangle is a 30. So both of these triangles have the same reference angle of 30 degrees. So we're in the second quadrant. So theta is this rotation here. So you can see that's 180 minus the 30. So it's 180 degrees minus the reference angle. So it's 180 degrees minus the 30. So that's 150 degrees. Theta is, this is the third quadrant, that's 180, add on the reference to get to, so it's 180 plus the reference angle in the third quadrant. 180 plus 30, 210. And 200, excuse me, 150 degrees. Now the reference angle is pi divided by 6. 30 times 6 makes 180. So the reference angle in terms of radians is pi over 6. That means 180 is going to be a pi over 6. So there's two ways I can do it. Multiply by 180 over pi. Cancel out the zeros because I divided by 10. 3 into 15 goes 5. 3 into 18 goes 6. So that's a 5 pi over 6. Or you can see that pi over 6 is 30. 30 into 150 is 5. It's another fast way to do it. And 210 multiplied by pi over 180. And notice that the reference angle is 30, which is pi over 6. So this is going to be a pi over 6. And that's 30. How many 30s are in 1 or 210? It's 7 of them. That's one way. Another way is to cancel the zeros. We're dividing by 10. 3 into 21 goes 7. 3 into 18 goes 6. 7 pi over 6. So the two answers are 5 pi over 6 and 7 pi over 6. Because we're supposed to be between 0 and 2 pi, and we're supposed to have it in radians in terms of pi. So that's, again, we're solving different types of equations in different domains. So the first one was on degrees, and this one is on radians. So that brings us to the end. If you like my video, click the like button, the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my video, and the content. And that's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.